That's a counter?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Run to the restroom and I'll beat it. I promise.
I gotcha. There you go.
Man, who knew? Competitive.
going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here, your post-game edition after the USF Bulls fall to the Miami Hurricanes 49-12. How do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them as your Rolex reporter, Peter Blake. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. And I got a USF Bulls fan on with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself here because we're going to try to be a little bit positive after a tough loss, if you will. The Miami Hurricanes, no doubt, are for real. But we had you on this show. Go ahead and introduce yourself on the Sports Web Live from Tampa Joe's.
My name is Rich, and let me go ahead and just start off by saying, bring the passion, bring the excitement, just don't bring any nonsense.
Wow!
There we go.
That's good. That's good. And, of course, you won tickets here at Tampa Joe's. That's the reason why you get out here for all the away watch parties when it comes to USF. When USF is on the road, we will be live here, 9612 9316. Excuse me, it's been a long day. 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. So I get the result wasn't there, but you had a good time, right? Even though you had a lightning delay for an hour and 42 minutes, you won some tickets, right? Where'd you win tickets to? Which game?
I won to next week's game against, I think, South Carolina.
South Carolina State, yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
that was unexpected and really fantastic.
How long have you been a Bulls fan for?
Oh, I've probably now maybe just 20 years probably.
Wow.
Coming in. So it's go Bulls.
There you go. There you go. And Monica from 102.5, they gave me the Bulls chair. Do you know the Bulls chair?
Yes.
Go ahead. Do it.
So SOUTHFLORIDA, South Florida. Go Bulls.
Love it. There you go. All right. So good stuff. Who's your favorite Bull of all time?
Oh, man. Probably BJ Daniels.
Yeah?
Yeah. When he came in, we had all this great success, and he just took it to a whole entire next level. And it's actually great to still see him on the field this now. I think he's one of the directors or assistant directors for relationship with communities. So it's great to see him still sticking with the program.
Yeah. What do you think about this team and the direction they're going? Because listen, if I told you the first of the season you would have Boise State, which is ranked at the time, that you would have Florida on the road in Miami, and you would be 2-1, you would take it, right?
Any Bulls fan who, even if we had any game, said that we were going to be 2-1 going into the rest of the season would have been absolutely ecstatic.
Right.
Again, all three of the first games were against ranked opponents.
Yeah.
And so it's really nothing but positive things to build on. We just had a couple things that didn't click. There were a couple of calls I wish the refs would have called, but no, Miami had our number.
Yeah, and I think we could definitely talk about that because when USF had the opportunity in the red zone and Alex Golich, we didn't get a chance to address this on the halftime show. This was, I believe, right before halftime, and you settle for a field goal at that point. It certainly looks like a USF player is being held at that point. Golich is, and it didn't look like it. You look on the replay, it was, and look, the refs swallowed their whistle. I will go back to the third quarter because that's been the strong point for this Bulls team. They had their opportunities, but you go for a big play there in the red zone once again on 4th and 1, empty set there with Brown, and he gets stuffed by that Miami defense. Miami defense, overall, this whole team offensively, Carson Beck, he was the real deal. Mark Fletcher Jr., we talked about him in the pregame. Just they're a total complete package. They are real. They look like the old Miami teams. Is that what you see from them?
Oh, definitely. We definitely had our work cut out for us. And, Boise State lost some key players. UF is kind of going through their struggles right now, like as universities, but Miami is pretty locked in. And they looked really, really strong and look strong pretty much going forward in the ACC. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. So, again, South Florida falls 49-12 to the Miami Hurricanes. Tell everybody out there what they're missing from Tampa Joe's there. Again, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa.
Oh, man. If you guys, it's so great to actually have a watch party that's a little bit more like central. The other ones are like so far away. This is a really, really great area. The service is fantastic. The food's really, really good. You get to hang out with other ecstatic Bulls fans.
Yes.
And then you never know, you could win tickets.
Absolutely. You can definitely win tickets, and that's what it comes down to. You come out here, you have some great food. We had some great food today. You meet some Bulls fans. There's a lot of Bulls fans that showed up. I think hope springs eternal, if you will, as a Tampa Bay sports fan. We cover the Bucks and we cover USF on the away game. So thanks a lot for coming on. Once again, tell everybody who you are and do it for me with more passion and more excitement. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
My name is Rich. Thank you very much. And I just want to say, hey, bring the passion, bring the excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Love it. Good stuff, my friend.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll give a little Bulls right there. All right. So I tell you what, let's go out to this guy because I know he wants to talk about it. And Travis Faley's saying I have no video. I don't know how we don't have any video at this point. I think we got video just fine. Rick, I know you took the Miami Hurricane, so go ahead. Yes, there's somebody there. How you doing? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, here live from Tampa Joe's. All right. What's up, man?
Doing well, my friend. How you doing? Glad to see you on the air again.
Yeah, man. Love being on air. Love being out here at Tampa Joe's. You got to come out here sometime and then enjoy a watch party or two. We got away watch parties when it comes to the USF Bulls and it comes to, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we get you ready for Monday Night Football versus the Houston Texans.
I definitely will. Now, as far as my comments here, I am a lifelong Hurricanes fan, obviously, and so I'm very, very happy with the outcome today. But I will say that I am a big fan of USF. I followed them for quite a long time. This was kind of a bittersweet thing for me, but it was nice to see them represent. It was nice to see them out there doing some of the things that I really didn't expect them to do, but they did. So I'm very proud of them. They should not look at this as any kind of a setback. They ran into a buzzsaw today.
True.
They've had a great first couple of weeks. I think they're going to bounce back, and I will root for them for every single game, obviously, except for tonight. They should be proud and hang their hats high.
Absolutely. They weren't able to run the game, of course, being down 28-6. You can't do that versus a good team, most likely a great team like the Miami Hurricanes. But I go back to that third quarter. You get stuffed on fourth down. They do call some turnovers right before the half, not able to get any points. They did cause another turnover there from Carson Beck. Besides that, though, I thought your quarterback tonight was exceptional. He was exceptional versus Bethune-Cookman. Exceptional in this game, going 23 for 28, 343 touchdowns. Again, the 2 interceptions. But overall, the talent at this point, I don't want to be Mr. Negative when it comes to USF and Miami, but it is a different talent level. I think this is a learning moment for USF, and offensively, They just look like they were just a little bit off, and Miami took advantage of it, especially when it comes to third and fourth downs.
Plus, also at the end of the day, you have to look at it. I mean, they played and beat 2 top 25 teams coming into this game.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, it's like they faced a team that is definitely a higher class than them. But it's not like this. It's not like they embarrassed themselves in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
They got good pressure. They caused the first 2 picks for Carson Beck in over 200 passes. They should be proud of that. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They did a lot of good things. But once they got behind, as far as they did, then at that point it changes the entire game plan, and it really becomes difficult, especially for their quarterback. And their quarterback, I thought, played well. He's a big kid. He's a strong kid.
Yeah.
And he just made some mistakes. He made some poor throws, but I think that's
you're exactly right. You're trying to make a play, and I think that defense of the Miami Hurricanes kind of centered on that. They were able to throw the ball down the field. I mean, you look at the final numbers again for Brown. 20 for 36, 274, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but also had a key fumble, which kills the momentum. You have to win that turnover battle, and USF wasn't able to win that turnover battle. And, again, Miami made them pay. I get it. The kid's trying to make, some things happen, but takes a hit. Defenders right on the ball there trying to escape and scramble. Chase Nimrod for USF had a big game. They were able to connect there. They got some chemistry going down the field. They had some other plays they left on the field. Just give, again, the Hurricanes credit when it comes to defense. But 4 for 28, but going back to a Brown, an interception and, of course, the fumble. So what did you think about your Hurricanes at this point? Because a big-time matchup coming up here. I believe, what did they play? Florida, and they play Florida State. Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're going to have a tough sledding of it. They're still fairly young, but I think, and like I said, Carson Beck is his first year here with us. He's only going to be here one and done. But I think they've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Their defense last year was what basically ruined the entire season, and they're light years ahead this year. And it was Ruben Bain. He's amazing. So, yes, but the main reason I wanted to come on your show was just to let everybody know. I know you're a USF fan, and everybody's USF fans there.
Yes.
And as a Cane fan, I wanted to come on here and say, hey, hang your heads high. You guys showed up well. You guys are going to bounce back well. This is going to be a great experience for you. And, positive things are ahead. So go USF.
I love it. Good stuff, my friend. Winner, chicken dinner on that. All right. So anything else on your mind tonight, Rick, the director?
No, sir. I'm just wanted to, like I said, not come on here and do anything as far as, bragging on USF really yet, because I love that team. And I'm so happy for them. And like I said, tonight was bittersweet, but it'll be a good learning experience.
I love that. Learning experience, that's what it's all about. Coach Golis, he always talks about process. I think they're getting there again.
They are.
You have to alleviate those mistakes. You have to do better offensively when it comes down to it. Rick, the director, appreciate the call as always, my friend, all right?
You got it, man. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go out to this guy. Miss my guy. Mr. Harry the Greek on here, the post-game edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here, live from Tampa Joe's, again, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. What's on your mind tonight? I know that you did watch this game. What did you see? What was your analysis after USF falls to 2-1, losing to the Miami Hurricanes?
It's exactly what I thought was going to happen in the game, Peter. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a great day here. Some great food. We give, USF Bulls. A lot of Bulls fans show up. The delay didn't necessarily help because we had lots of Bulls here, but they kind of went home an hour.
I actually thought the delay was actually going to be in their benefit.
Correct.
To be honest with you.
Right.
But it wasn't. And then they showed some flashes, but they were completely outplayed.
I agree. I completely I completely agree.
Like the it looks like the offensive line from the Miami Hurricanes. It looked like men versus high school kids on the defensive line for USF. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No.
But you are talking about a top 5 team, legitimate top 5 team.
Right.
Now, let's talk about a different game real quick.
Go for it.
The Gators. The Gators are giving LSU everything that they can handle.
Well, listen, this is why you're going to love college football on Saturdays here live from Tampa Joe's on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Not only do you have the Gators, and look, Billy Napier with the loss, it would have been easy for that team to lay down, but they go into Death Valley tonight, and they're giving them everything they can handle. And I love that about college football. You got Georgia beating Tennessee in a thriller there. You got West Virginia and Pittsburgh, a thriller there. I mean, it was a Michael Jackson day with all the thrillers going on. And if you don't love college football, then either you're not a football fan or you don't have a pulse. This is the reason why we do this in the first place. So it's been a great day for college football. And I know for the Gators, you being a Gator fan, and I've got to be happy for them because, listen, Billy Napier, again, back against the wall. There's a lot of talk.
They're going to get blown up.
Right.
Okay, LSU is going to take the bull by the reins, but in the first half, I mean, they're giving them everything they possibly can. And this is another game that I bet. I didn't take Florida. I laid the point. I think LSU is going to crush them, but they had me worried. The same way I ended up playing with Miami. I mean, I don't bet with my heart, Peter Blake. I think you know that.
I know that, and that's what I love about you, Harry. You're the voice of reason, and you're exactly right. Going back to the Miami Hurricanes, that was the big-time challenge, right? I mean, it's men among boys. We talked about USF and how they didn't necessarily get enough pressure on Florida, only 3 times, a rushing 4. Only time they really got pressure is when they blitz. This was a bigger offensive line. They gave Beck all the time in the world tonight. And, when South Florida got pressure, They caused Beck to throw an interception, but it was few and far between. It wasn't consistent enough, so you're absolutely correct. And listen, that is going to be the staple of this Miami Hurricane team. That's a staple of any college football team. You win within the lines, the interior lines, your offensive line, your defensive line, and consequently Miami right now superb in this game when it comes to the offensive line and defensive line. The talent is just it's very good.
I gotta tell you too, Peter. This Miami team is going to get better and better every single week. I heard a lot of naysayers out there about them, but I don't know if they're that good.
Right. Well, listen, I have no doubt that they're very good, and I think Carson Beck, being a transfer out of Georgia, I think there was a lot of hype. Still threw 2 interceptions, and I still think when you get to this kid, when you get to any quarterback, you can cause him, to throw some things. He did that right.
He made some pretty throws.
He did. He really did.
You gotta take your hat off to what the University of Miami did in this game. But you know what? Hey, South Florida doesn't have anything to hang their hat on in a negative way. They beat Boise State. Mm-hmm. Then they came out and they beat Florida Gators. They were both nationally ranked teams.
Correct.
I mean, you know how hard it is to beat 3 teams consecutively?
Well, it's very tough, and
it very rarely happens.
Correct.
You're talking about the excellence of the days of the Alabama Crimson Tide or the Georgia Bulldogs from the last 4 or 5 years. Now these teams can do that, but when you got a team like South Florida that has been, on average of being mediocre to below average for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And then they go out and they get that ass against Boise State, then they go against the Gators. They ran into a buzzsaw. Now, I fully expect this team to come back next week and play like they did the past couple of games. Not this past game.
Right.
They'll pick up and they're going to learn from it.
Well, listen, a little bit.
Peter, it can be a little overconfident. Too,
right. Well, listen, a little bit of different competition. You never know. You can't look forward here, but you got South Carolina State Bulldogs at home at noon, so we'll be covering that. So a little bit different than Miami and, of course, Florida, but you're absolutely right. And you're learning from this. And this is what I ask Bulls fans in the Tampa Bay area as we're live here from Tampa Joe's. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter, all in with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, recapping the loss to the Miami Hurricanes in dominating fashion by the Hurricanes 49-12. Listen, if you asked me at the beginning of the year, when you got Boise State at home, which is a ranked, if you have Florida on the road, which is ranked, and then you have Miami on the road, which is also ranked, and you come out of this 2-1, because I know
I said this team was going to be 0-3.
Mm-hmm. I know you did. I know you did, Greek. I know you did.
USF Bulls, that doesn't mean I'm a hater.
Right.
I'm just a prognosticator. But I'm going to tell you right now, this team's a pretty damn good football team. I've seen a lot of good things. If you lined up USF and Miami, they're not going to lose at the same margin. They're not beating Miami. Miami's clearly a better team.
Right.
But I promise you one thing, this team would have been coached a little bit differently, and they may have only lost by maybe 10 or 13, but not by that margin. Because I'm going to tell you what they didn't do, Pete.
Right.
They couldn't get to the quarterback, and they got absolutely just paralyzed.
Yep.
And they got away from the blitz. They could, if they would have blitzed, they used their speed on defense.
Sure.
I think this game could have been a little bit closer, but they kept playing back on their heels.
Right. And the third quarter to me was the big turning point, because then you get the interception, you get the big drive there. You go for it on 4th down. Little bit, again, play calling by Alex Golish, running a draw, not getting anything. I get it. You settle for field goals.
I didn't have any problems with the way Golish called this game.
I had some of the problems when you're in 3rd and 11 and you go for a draw. I don't like that at all. I think that's conservative. I think you're buying in, you're settling. You gotta kind of go for it, put it on your offense, put it on Brown instead of running the ball. And then the 4th down, that's tough. Empty set. Again, Miami Hurricanes defense was up for the task. They stop him. I feel bad for Brown because he's doing everything he can. Had some big throws tonight. Again, just didn't do enough. And get the talent level of the Miami Hurricanes. is really, really good. This team is real. That's the reason why they're ranked 5. And I see Hurricane fans out there. We smacked you all. Great. You smacked us. You're number 5. You're the 5th ranked team in the country. Okay, congratulations. But still, right.
You're missing the point here.
Tell me the point.
Okay, the point is this team is 2-1 and they played 3 nationally ranked teams.
Agree.
They could say whatever they want. They're entitled to pound their chest. But going back to that play, that draw play, you questioned it. I didn't have a problem with that play, Pete. Because if you look at the defensive alignment that the University of Miami was in, had Florida executed the play, it may have been a little bit different because he didn't sell that draw play at all.
Didn't sell the
drop back. Here you go. I mean, he didn't sell that at all.
For me, though, if you're going to go for 3rd and 11 in a draw, I guess this is my point, and this is what I was talking with the media icon, and of course Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. We had Kevin O'Donnell here, the retired sports broadcaster from Fox 13. If you're going to go for it on 3rd and 11 with the draw, then I think you go for it on 4th down. Instead, they don't do that, and I didn't understand it, but. Again, it's one call. USF had some opportunities. They're just not able to take advantage, especially in the 3rd quarter. And I don't think the step right.
They got outplayed.
They did, my friend.
Listen,
yes.
It's football Sunday. I know you need to get out of there real soon. Make sure you lock it all up and you tell everybody over there. And you know what? Monday night, buddy, you got the Greek out there. You got the Greek and Pete on the pregame show starting at 5 o'clock.
Love it.
For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby.
Yes.
And I'm telling you what, it's going to be a great game. And you know what? Sorry, we're not going to have an over-under this week. But if you do want any picks, go ahead and hit me up, DM me, and I'll go ahead and give them to you.
Well,
Peter, I got to go, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, Greek. Appreciate you as always. Let me give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Right there. Good stuff. We'll see you on Monday night here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live from Tampa Joe's. All right?
Cheers.
All right. Absolutely. Cheers. All right. So we'll go out to the comments here. We'll go out to Travis Bailey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment because he had some – there he is right there. Ask and you shall receive. Travis Bailey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. You're on the Evolution live here from Tampa Joe's in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake. What did you think of this disappointing loss to the Miami Hurricanes? But it certainly looked like, in my opinion, that 3rd quarter, the Bulls had their chances. Just once again, Miami stood up when the Bulls tried to get back in the game. The Hurricanes said none of that. No soup for you, if you will. Go ahead.
Well, Pete, I'm a firm believer in honesty in journalism.
Correct.
Okay. I consider myself a photojournalist, and I have been in sports media for about 15 years at different levels here and there. So I'm going to be honest. There were a lot of opportunities in that game.
Yep.
And they just didn't take them. I'm going to call out Coach Golish. I like Coach Golish. He does things differently than I do. He's having some success this year after 2 back-to-back 7 and 6 seasons with bold victories and trying to turn this, this organization around. We'll call it an organization, this team, this program. How about that?
Absolutely. It works. That definitely works. Yeah.
So, and he's, like I said, he does some things that I don't agree with, but, like I said, he's on the field and I'm not. And he's a really nice guy, too. So, and I appreciate him and I respect him. But, man, Pete, when you get the ball back, yeah, you're down 28-6 going into the half. But you got Miami on their heels, not on their heels, but on their 5-yard line.
Correct.
And you have opportunities to stop the clock and get your team one more opportunity with the football before the half, and then to get the ball at the on the backside of the half.
Right.
I mean, that is, you've got to call those timeouts. He took 3 timeouts, if I remember correctly, into the locker room when they could have got the ball back. Let's say on the 50, let's say on the 45. 1-2 plays, you give Nico a shot. You go into the locker room. You got momentum. You're actually feeling a little bit better about yourself after, once again, this opportunity in the first half. Yep. And damn, Pete,
well, you pull the Todd Bowles.
Hold on, Pete. Let me finish it.
Yeah.
If I got to watch Coach Golish against the monster Miami front line defense run the damn ball up the middle over and over and over and not do anything offensively with that running play.
Agree.
And continue to do it all night long. It is just mind-blowing.
Frustrating.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either, and I get it. Listen, you have to stick to balance, and you can't be one-dimensional, but if it's not working, especially in the interior, why not try to run outside? And that was my biggest thing. You go back to that 3rd and 11 play for a draw, unless you're going for it on 4th down at that point. I don't understand the call. You know, I get it. You want to settle for field goals, but field goals are not going to win the game. Nico may win a game for Florida, but you got to score touchdowns. You got to pull out all stops, and I think you're exactly right. Goalish taking all those timeouts.
Even still, even if they score on the front end and the back end at halftime,
right?
You know what I mean by that.
Yep.
They're still going to lose that game. It's just, but once again, you have an opportunity to make that respectable, and just by the playing calling and missed opportunities, I thought Byrum Brown got better as the game went along. The middle of the field opened up. I mean, how is it not going to? You know, you're in 2nd and 9. You're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 with this team. Yes, good high quality teams with a quarterback that can hit the spots in the zone without issue are going to pick up those 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
Brown really isn't that guy, unfortunately.
And, he tried to be.
He was getting better.
Yeah.
As the game went along.
He tried to be that guy. We're on with Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment here. I'm your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web Live from Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa, as we were giving out Bulls tickets tonight. Plenty of Bulls fans. They taught me the cheer. I mean, it was a great time, even with the 1 hour and 42-minute lightning delay, which I think, would have favored the Bulls. But give credit to where credit is due. Miami could have rested on their laurels, which I don't understand that. Nobody's ever told me what laurels are, but they could have rested on their laurels, and they come out and once again score on USF. Bulls had no answer at that juncture, but again, a great time here at Tampa Joe's. Going back to what Byrum Brown, I think he was trying to make some plays tonight, but we also talked about the turnover battle, which is what USF lost. Crucial fumble there, trying to make a play happen on a scramble, fumbles the ball. You give Miami the short field. I believe they go up at that point 35-6, and it's basically academic. And then
middle screen play where Brown got intercepted. I can't remember exactly when it was in the game. But they ran that play later in the game. It was very successful for about 12 or 15 yards. So, everybody looks back and says, wow, it's 1 or 2 plays really can change a game, or they really don't. There's always that 50-50 side, that 50-50 argument, that it wasn't just one. But crucial plays at crucial times that play, that interception, that was basically the nail in the coffin, especially with the play calling at the end of the half. The game was over with. It was unfortunate. Those guys, I think that was a humility game. It makes it, a humbling game for USF. I think they had a lot of gumption, probably a lot of brass after beating Florida. And, it's hard to get up 3 weeks in a row. And I'm not making excuses. They got beat by a better Miami team. That's a big dog that's going to make a push for a national championship if they keep playing the way they do and they clean up the penalties. They had 9. I think Miami had 9 penalties, where USF only had 2 this week, which is considerable coming off a 9 penalty week against UF. They were ranked 100th in the nation as far as penalties are concerned, tied
absolutely
with teams. And Miami was 62nd, with averaging about 6 penalties a game. So today Miami actually increased the number of penalties over their average and still got a pretty easy victory over at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely correct. I mean, Miami 9 for 69. I think they could have been called for more. And if you ask Coach Alex Golesh, when you're in the red zone there, where Brown makes a throw, an errant throw on 3rd down, it certainly looks like the player is held, but there is no call. The referee swallows the whistle. That's a critical penalty you have to call. You look at 3rd downs, though, that's also the story of the game. 7 for 19, that's not going to get it done. I don't care who you play. 7 for 19 on 3rd down won't get it done. And on the other side here, 7 for 11 for the Miami Hurricanes. So your defense has to be able to get off the field. And then on top of it, the 4th down, where Miami says, okay, we're coming right at you. Try to stop it, and they're not able to stop it. But again, if you told me, and I started off the show with this, the first 3 games of the year with ranked opponents, and you come out of this 2-1, you'd be pretty satisfied. And Sun Devil Dave off air, he's going to call in. If the Bulls, they got everything in front of them. If they take care of their business, they win the majority of the game. Let's say they go 10-2. do you think this team has an opportunity to make the playoff? I think they may. I know it's a long way out, but
I don't think so. I don't think so at this point. I think they needed more of a statement kind of loss, and I think this loss will hurt them long term if they do go 10-2.
Right.
You know, they're going to have some tough conference games, Pete. So I can see them going 8-4. If they go 8-4, or if they even went 9-3. I just think it's an amazing year of progress for this program. And like I said, they're not going to see another team that's going to be this fast and this big on both sides of the ball the rest of the year. So they just have to take care of what's in front of them.
Right.
They got some teams that they should beat. You can't have a let-up game. You can't have a falter game. You have to beat the teams that you should beat.
Well,
if USF does that, it's going to be a highly successful season.
Let's take a look in the crystal ball here for Travis Faley. Hot takes with Travis Faley. South Carolina State, we assume that's going to be a win at Raymond James Stadium next week, right?
Well, let's just say this, Pete. I'm not going to go through the whole schedule because I don't really believe in shoulds and should not. But, you get a general idea on when a team should beat them.
Yeah.
But, they just need to stay healthy.
Okay.
They can stay healthy at the key positions.
Yep.
And Byrum can play a little bit better against lesser opponents. They shouldn't have any problem taking care of business.
Memphis and Navy maybe
again.
your toughest test here. South Florida's also got UAB, but they're not very good there with Trent Dilfer. So, again, you're exactly right. Take one game at a time. Absolutely get that. But even with this loss, there is, for me, around the Bay Area and around this place tonight, you feel there's an eternal optimism that this team has turned around. I get it. They've lost this. But do you think they have they turned the corner, in your opinion, or once again, it remains to be seen, in your opinion, with Coach Golish and in his program?
You caught me on that one. Sorry.
I know.
Let's just
take one game at a time, right?
It's an old cliche, but yes, one game at a time. Just, once again, stay healthy, man.
Okay.
I'll be out there. You guys get out there. I'm hoping the fans start really embracing this team.
Yes.
Because, once again, Pete, when you looked at this game on the schedule, you didn't think that they were going to catch a win on this game against this team. It was an expected L.
Right.
Once again, when we were just talking about looking at a schedule, expected wins and expected L's.
Yep.
You're looking at this schedule here, and you're looking at 2 expected L's and hopefully a W mixed in. So 2-1, you got to be ecstatic at this point.
Absolutely, be ecstatic. Anything else here that you saw in this game that you think USF or you saw from Miami? Because Miami, they got Florida giving LSU everything they can handle. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to get the update on that, so I'll update that. But Florida and then Florida State, in your opinion, from what you saw from Miami today and tonight, do you think they're the real deal?
I think Miami's definitely the real deal. I don't think Florida's the real deal. I think they're, you saw if Florida was the real deal, they would have taken care of business last week.
Right.
And then, they had some late mishaps, and I think they had a huge coaching blunder late in that game, and that's going to cost them down the line. So, that Tennessee-Georgia game was pretty fantastic today, too, the way that all ended and the way that all played out. But, I can't say enough about today, Pete. I thought, come out and going out to Tampa Joe's for the 3rd or 4th time now. I really like that place. Not to switch the conversation, but I'm going to. The food was great today. The place was rocking with USF fans. I really hope everybody gets out there. Not only goes to the game, but when they got a roadie, get out to Tampa Joe's because we'll be there. We're going to be supporting this team like we have for the last 15 years.
Absolutely. Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. And on top of it, if you come out, you got an opportunity because we just had our fan on there winning tickets to the next game, South Carolina State, winning games going forward, winning tickets to those games. Which is always a great incentive, and having some other giveaways. And then Bucks tickets, getting you ready for Monday Night Football. If you want to come out for that, we'll have Harry the Greek and Pete. But Travis Faley, if you want to come out for Monday night as we get you ready for Tampa Bay Buccaneer football versus the Houston Texans, we'll see how that plays out. Always love Monday Night Football.
Man, that's just going to be a great matchup, and I'm really looking forward to watching C.J. Stroud go up against this Tampa Bay defense, and the flip side of that, because that Houston Texans defense, they could really get after it. And Will Anderson is a must-watch player. So if you ever get a chance, I'm hoping at some point, obviously in the next 4 or 5 years, we can get Houston down at Ray J. I love going to see the best players in the world play football.
Love it, Wes. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Will Anderson, and of course Daniel Hunter. So a challenge for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, especially their offensive line. My friend, we appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out today, and we'll see you soon here on the Evolution. All right.
Hey, hurry up, pack up, because I'm going to watch the fight.
Yes, we got Crawford and Canelo, and I think TJ Reese, the media icon, is staying in, so I understand that. So let's get together. I'm going to get this equipment, the tools of ignorance, if you will, all wrapped up. We'll unwrap it again on Monday night, but I'm going to get it wrapped up quick, and we'll watch the fight together. A hell of a boxing match tonight.
I'll text you where I'm going in about 30 seconds. But thanks to everyone who's been listening all night and sticking with the Sports Web. Let's keep it going because we're only going to get better.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Thanks a lot for the time, and we'll see you soon, my friend. All right?
You got it, brother.
All right. Good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Update the scores right now. LSU has pulled away. It was 10-10, but now 20-10 LSU. Texas A&M against Notre Dame. Defense is optional. Right now, Notre Dame winning 31-28, but that's a back and forth affair. Arkansas and Ole Miss, once again, defense optional. Ole Miss 41-35. And as we talked about before, Georgia winning in overtime over Tennessee. Tennessee had every opportunity to win that game. Nope, they couldn't do it. And then on top of that, West Virginia over Pitt in another overtime thriller. So other scores around the college football landscape. Ohio State easily over Ohio, 37-9, OHIO. And a upset right now, Vanderbilt over South Carolina. The Gamecocks losing 24-7. And Utah ranked at number 20 over Wyoming, 17-0. So, guys, want to hear from you. We'll read these comments, and then we will wrap it up for the night. Anything you have to say it on the Sports Web as the phone lines are open. The big-time question of the night, what did you think of the game? I get it. The score, tough. But, again, if you told me that you're going to start out the season – with 3 ranked opponents and you would be 2-1, would you be somewhat satisfied? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Buck's Basement. Told everyone that USF wasn't going to beat the Canes. The Canes are a dynamite, best team in Florida. It's not even close. I'm not ready to say that. Maybe my Florida State biased would be in there, but I definitely think Florida State in a couple weeks, that could be a matchup to watch. We'll definitely be watching it. Castellanos at quarterback, that defense has improved. The coaching is improved. Not ready to say that Miami is the best team in the state, but they are very talented, led by, surprising for me, Carson Beck, who's been very accurate. That offensive line, a major key to that, how big they are, how they out-physical you. They did that to USF throughout the game, especially in that second half. When you start, again, body blowing, and that's what they did with this running game. As it was impressive. It really was from Miami with Mark Fletcher Jr., 16 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. He really showed out. You had Carson Beck a couple times there going around for the read option. He's a lot more athletic than I gave him credit for, but I still think when you force him, as any quarterback, but especially him, from what I saw at Georgia, if you get pressure on him, I think you can get some turnovers, and that's why I would favor Florida State. Taking my bias out of it, I'll just say I think Florida State is the best team in the state of Florida, but we shall see here in the next couple of weeks as college football is just getting started. But these matchups for the ACC, huge matchup here in a couple of weeks from being Florida State and Miami. Let's go out to Buck's Basement. Dreading Monday Night Football, by the way. The Bucks do not perform well in prime time, which has been a thing since Bulls was the head coach. 0-5. You're absolutely correct about that. Can they get that bugaboo? Can they get off the schneid, if you will, as the great Chris Berman would say? Can they perform well? Good news today, Luke Gedeke coming back after missing 2 days of practice. Solidify that offensive line. You got a big-time challenge. The Texans' defense a lot better, a lot more formidable, if you will, than the Atlanta Falcons. And, of course, they're going to be upset. Disappointing loss to the L.A. Rams, only scoring 9 points. The last time these teams hooked up a couple years ago, the Texans put up 39. I think Todd Bowles would not be excited about that at all.
It's exciting!
It would not be, Todd, because if you put up 39 points, that means hopefully the Bucs will put up 40. I remember that last matchup. The defense was very, very disappointing. So we'll see what happens on Monday night. That's why you play the games, and that's why you tune in to the evolution of sports talk television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live from Tampa Joe's as they were winding it down here. A long day, a long, great day, and we'll continue to do this for USF Bulls fans, for overall college football fans, as Alabama, they had a watch party today. They take care of business over the Badgers. I'm not going to even try to say it because I don't want to be corrected by Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Christopher Cole, Miami just manhandled USF. Completely agree with you on that. Let's go out to Andrew. Bulls lost, Bulls lost, Bulls lost. You must be a Georgia fan. Again, in an overtime thriller, back and forth, defense optional. Tennessee had a chance to win that game, but give credit to where credit is due. Georgia and Kirby Smart pull out the victory right there. Christopher Cole, the delay stopped the Bulls' momentum. I think a little bit. Listen, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. It is a 1 hour and 42-minute delay for lightning and storms and stuff. Maybe it did stop the momentum just a little bit. Maybe. It's tough. You thought it would favor USF, and it really didn't. And again, I think it goes back to what Harry said, right? We're in the business of journalism. Yeah, we do watch parties and stuff like that. Yeah, we're a Tampa Bay-based sports talk show. But you turn on the tape, clearly the talent in Miami, they were the better team. They were the better team today, and they showed it on the field. And I know that's easy to say, but, it is what it is. Football 101. The schedule gets easier from here on out. Yeah, I mean, I look at it. You're looking at USF coming up here as I'm going to go through this schedule. And you tell me where, and again, I get it. You play one game at a time. You got South Carolina State coming to, Raymond James Stadium next week at noon. We got you covered there. Probably not a pregame show, but a postgame show from the red corner, live from the press box there at Raymond James Stadium. Charlotte on my birthday. I think that's a good omen coming in to Raymond. So it's back-to-back home games right there as you get away from the road. You come back home. Thank God, some home cooking. And then, South Florida goes to North Texas. Florida Atlantic comes to town. Memphis definitely may be a tough game there on the road. UTSA comes here. That will be tough, but would actually be a home game going on the road versus Navy. So Navy and Memphis right now, you look at those games, UAB, and then Rice. So we'll see how it plays out. But absolutely, getting two back-to-back home games will definitely help this team out, get some home cooking, get a little bit of easier competition. You should win those games. You should. I definitely think USF has improved. I don't think it's indicative of this performance. I just think it shows that, again, Miami is the real deal. There's a reason why they are the fifth-ranked team in the country, and they showed how talented they were. Let's go out to Bebe Rich. Miami smacked the Bulls and put y'all on your place. Okay, well, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I never said anything that they didn't do. I know you're trying to talk trash to me, but I think I've been very complimentary of the Miami Hurricanes and what they did. So I think you got the wrong show. Love just scored for Notre Dame. JC says, go Canes. I'll allow you to have it.
Yeah.
Baby, again, the Bulls never had momentum. Stop the foolishness. Our defense makes Brown look like trash. They definitely forced him into some throws tonight. He did have some deep throws. So they did beat your defense. So let's not just say he looked like trash. I think, that's a broad stroke there. I think there was some deep plays. Because if he looked like trash, he wouldn't have threw for over 200 passing yards. So enough with he looked like trash and it was trash time, because it wasn't. Because he did complete some passes. So stop with the Miami nonsense. Be, have some class on this show. I don't care if you're a Miami Hurricane fan. You're not going to sit here and say this team looked like trash. I think the score is a lot closer. Again, did Miami play a better game? Absolutely. But to say the quarterback looks like trash, I think they forced him into some things that he didn't necessarily want to have. And then, of course, you lose the turnover battle. Is that fair? You just want to continue to talk trash to me? Fine, whatever. I'll continue to talk back to you. USF is overrated being a trash. Florida team beat Boise State with Genty. They beat ranked teams, okay? So, and I'll tell you right now, I want you to come back on the broadcast if Florida State or Florida, supposedly that's overrated, that was giving LSU everything they could handle. But I want you to come back on the program and have that same energy. Is that cool? Cool. All right. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. I like it. I like a little debate there, baby. Go ahead. Bring it on. After the field goal to make it 14-3, then the delay happened. Yeah, the delay happened. Yes, it did. Miami's a better team, period. Agree. I think we definitely have discussed that. Offense didn't look good. Brown had a bad night all around. Miami is good. Defense is quick. Brown wasn't going to run on them. He needs to get better throwing the ball. Not very accurate. Definitely needs to work on that, although I will say that him and Chase Nimrod, it seems like they do have some chemistry. It doesn't seem like it. They definitely got some chemistry. Again, you look at the quarterback, 20 for 36, too many incompletes. Agree with that. Still 274, one touchdown, had the one interception. Nimrod in this game, a bright spot, 4 catches for 128. White Sullivan, 5 catches for 55. And Keyshawn Singleton made some good catches there, 2 catches for 39. And Christian Neptune, 7 catches for 32. A trash quarterback I wouldn't have, let alone 150 yards passing. I don't think he's trash. I think, again, it's so easy to say trash, trash, trash. I don't think he's trash. Just saying. What a joke. Try to go for touchdowns and tap more, Coach. Great job as usual, Peter. Good night. Thank you very much, CSB brother.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Brandon Keeler here. Hey, I'm tipping my cap to USF. They hung tough to start. I think South Florida is in great shape. I do too. And I definitely don't think they're overrated by any means. I think they have turned a corner to a certain degree. Let's see what the proof is in the pudding. The schedule gets a little bit easier. Let's see if they can take care of business and see where they're at. But I definitely don't think is the same South Florida. Not every team is going to go on the road and you're going to win, 2 road games against ranked opponents, especially with the talent of Miami. Miami's very talented. Never said they were. But there were opportunities for this USF Bowl team to take advantage, and they weren't able to do it. Fair. USF didn't execute on both sides of the ball. Agree. Ralph Williams, sad loss. Christopher Cole, Gators outgained LSU but have 3 turnovers. Well, there you go. You lose the turnover battle, right? We talk about it with USF and Miami tonight. It's any football. Football 101, unless you're good enough to overcome those turnovers, more likely than not, if you lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. Let's go out to Creamy Shroom. That's an interesting name. All right. Miami in the trenches did the same exact thing to Notre Dame. Don't feel that bad about how they looked. The difference was Notre Dame had a better cornerback and better quarterback. Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair with that. Let me go out to Creamy Shroom. Stop it. Byrum Brown did not look good. Hit a couple long balls, but missed a ton short balls. I agree with you. I'm completely agreeing with you. I don't know where I said Byrum Brown looked like the greatest quarterback on the field. I think I said that Carson Beck was 23 for 28. I said that Brown wasn't trash, but he wasn't as accurate as you would like. He definitely missed some throws tonight. But to say he was absolutely trash, there were some plays in this game that he made. Again, I think we just say too much about quarterback looks trash, this and that and the other thing. I just want to know from you Miami Hurricane fans that are coming on the broadcast, and I love it. I love all the smoke. Come and give me that smoke. But I'll tell you right now, keep the same energy if you lose against Florida State in a couple weeks. Is that good to go? Okay. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Because they'll probably hear crickets. Probably what we're going to hear. We'll see, though. We'll see. Feel free to come on. Let's see here. USF won 2 out of 3 first 3 games. Nothing to be ashamed of. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there. Good stuff. And then let me go out to Brett here. USF didn't execute. Brown got thrown off as a game. And I'm a Nimrod. Well, that's good. Brett, absolutely agree with you on that. Brown did get thrown off his game. He was pressured. He wasn't able to run. He wasn't able to scramble enough. He did make some plays, but just not nearly enough. And once again, turning over the ball there with the fumble. And, of course, the interception doesn't help there on the screen pass. So let's see here. Christopher Cole make that 4 turnovers now. Well, again, you're not going to win games when you turn the ball over 4 times there. South is owned by the Hurricanes. Now the next king of Florida, the national championship, the U. We'll see. Lots of talk here. I heard all this talk last year from your Miami Hurricane fans, and you guys basically the bet. I won the U. So until, you go undefeated and you win the ACC, you can go ahead and say you're the king of the South. Until then, we'll see. But very talented team. I'll give you credit where credit is due. So thank you very much for tuning in here as Miami Hurricane fans. You gotta love that. I love it. I love when other fans start tuning in, they start debating, they start going back and forth. I'm a football guy. I watch football. People go out on Saturday night. People go out on Friday night. I'm watching football all the time, day and night. And we're doing it here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television Live from Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road. When it comes to USF watch parties, we got you covered. When it comes to Tampa Bay Buccaneer away games, we got you covered. And again, in case you didn't catch the breaking news, we'll be live there at What the Buck tailgate for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, opening up the 50th season for the Bucs against the New York Jets. We got What the Buck tailgate right there, talking to all kinds of Bucs fans. And, of course, the live post-game edition of the Sports Web in collaboration with the J.P. Peterson Show from Raymond James Stadium on the field. This isn't the same old South Florida, but this is the new mighty Miami Hurricanes. That's a fair statement. I agree with you. Again, though, for me, the proof is in the pudding. Can you beat Florida? Looks like, Napier will be on the hot seat, but they are playing tough right now, turning over the ball way too much. And then, of course, the big-time matchup, Florida State. That's for the ACC at this point. Clemson, by the way, lost to Georgia Tech on a 55-yard field goal. So we'll wrap it up here. Appreciate all the comments and phone calls, as always, on the Evolution. You fans are the lifeblood of what we do here on the Sports Web. Byrum Brown, 20 for 36, 274, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Running game, Isaac, 6 carries for 20 yards. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines before we get out of here. Let's go ahead and go out to this guy.
Mr. Kennedy!
Best of the Bay right there, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the Evolution. Disappointing loss by USF 49-12, but to ask the question as we started out for the night here on the Evolution, if you said you got 3 ranked opponents and you go 2-1, would you take it?
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, you're right. 100%. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Pete.
No, go ahead, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Go ahead.
Why would you hang your head? It's the funny thing is, and I say this, and I hope everybody out here listening here in the Sports Web knows that you and I have sat at the feet of the great Alex Gillette, talked about this team, and they're buying in. They've never backed down. We've seen this team go up against Bama after a rain delay 2 years ago in Gilles's first year and literally almost beat them and just shocked the world.
Very good point. With Nick Saban at the time, yes. Remember that.
Yeah, Nick Saban. And it was great. He was on Pat McAfee's show yesterday, and he even talked about that game. He says, it was a rain delay, and it was a bit of and I'm like, no, you got your ass kicked because this team's ready to play. And last year, they hung in there for 2 quarters, and then they just went down, and that was a tough Tuscaloosa. And then you and I were sitting right there at Raymond James Stadium in the press box, watching them hang in with Miami for a half first quarter last year, but that was Ward and the team didn't have the depth. But we got the best signing class in the AAC the last 2 years. This team never quits. And now we start the AAC schedule. I'm not saying the thing is I think people need to realize I'm not saying that you got to win. You don't got to win a national championship to have a great year, to have memories, and you think about the losses, the wins, the beating the Florida in the swamp. And no, they played great today, Pete. What do you think?
Well, listen, I think there are moments in this game they had their opportunities, but give Miami credit, especially defensively, able to get after Brown, not letting him get out of the pocket a couple times there. You saw some flashes, but not nearly enough, not what we're used to. He completed some passes, but he was off. His accuracy wasn't there. He was off on the short passes. I also thought, Coach Golish with some of the play calls there, trying to run into that line, running into the strength of the Hurricanes. I don't know about that. I still go back to that 3rd and 11 where you have the ball and you're driving and you go for a run. Why not try to pass the ball unless, again, you were going to go for? I don't understand the call, but
I didn't know.
Yeah,
the thing was, you're right, and I wasn't sure if that was part of Coach Golesh's plan to just no one's quitting, because that's the thing. Again, I want to say stress that we don't do it. Take a positive away from this game. This team never freaking quits. But Miami, the speed, they started cutting the corner. They cut those short screen passes and the flare passes out of the backfield. And, we all saw that. And anything trying to go up the middle. Every time the Bulls would try to rush, to be honest, the attempts at running, they were in vain. And by vain, I mean that guy's a freaking monster up the middle. And Pete, the thing is at the end of the day, we got beat by a team that I think could possibly be the top seed team going into the playoffs this year. Because let's be honest, USF showed some stress cracks in this team early, and that is the fact that if you punch them in the mouth, if they can stand behind it, and you have a way to beat them, the Bulls just don't have the size up front. Their line is bigger every year, and it's going to continue to be with this program.
Right.
But I don't mean to be sacrosanct on this, but here we are last week after we beat the Gators in the swamp, and I myself posed on the show this week, because I hear, Napier's on a hot seat, and Galesh was at Tennessee, and I'm like, after beating them, wouldn't he be the darlings that catch me out? And I'm saying that even losing your mind, I'm just glad that I don't think Coach Galesh does that. He's about building a program, and you see that with Byrum Brown. I mean, Byrum was shot. He never stood down today. He still had. There was a moment before. If they'd have called that pass interference in the second quarter, he would have had about 100 more yards passing.
Yeah.
And they may have had one less touchdown for Miami. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I
no, it's okay, man. We missed you down here today. Got to get down here. We had Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. We had Monica from 102.5. She was down here teaching me the Bulls cheer, and we gave away tickets. So, yeah, it was great today. That's great. We had the Green Queen come out and support USF, being an Eagle fan. Loved seeing her, and had the media icon TJ Reeves and Jason Powers and Kevin O'Donnell from Fox 13, the retired sportscaster who's done this for over 20 years. Amazing stuff. We didn't have the best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kinney. We didn't have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper, stirring there. So hopefully through the weeks here as we do these away watch parties, because this is for USF Bulls fans. I love college football fans in general, especially Hurricane fans, even though you want to troll me tonight. That's cool. I'm good with that. Love it. Love a little debate. We'll do it here on the Sports Web. But, I got to get out here, man. Great atmosphere. A lot of Bulls fans showed up. And like I said, I was talking to kids last night doing Uber, and I said, where do you go to watch USF games when they're away? And they go, well, we go a couple places, but there's really not a place to go. And I said, Tampa Joe's right there, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. That's where you go.
Brother, I'll tell you what, and I had to work. I was at UPS. I just cracked my first beer, Peter, at 10 o'clock on Saturday night. You know how that, I had to work all night, but you covered it for me today. I appreciate that. The only thing that made it worth not being able to be there or having to work tonight was that I had you locking it down and covering it for me, brother. And again, now we got what? Hold on a second.
You got the Monday night game with Tampa Bay and Houston, so we'll be back here for that away watch party. We'll have Harry the Greek.
I don't want to keep going here. If you want to go, I don't want to.
No, I'm good. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So last week, all of a sudden, they show up. The Bucks show up last week in Atlanta, and they're playing. crisscross applesauce. They're moving their offensive linemen around like it's like the shell game. And now we're going into the heart of D'Amico Ryans and having to face whatever kind of defensive pressure he's going to apply.
Yes.
And then the Texans trade away Larry Tunsil. They've literally deconstructed their entire offensive line and seem to want to be just relying upon C.J. Stroud's running.
And they're missing their center, by the way, which could be an advantage to Mr. Vita Vea and, of course, Kalijah Cansey there in the middle. So,
you know what? Oh, I'm going to do a hot take. Hot
take it.
Hassan Reddick's going to have a sack at least once. If he's not the only one, there'll be other ones, but he'll have a sack he'll have a sack on a stunt up the middle because he'll wrap around and beat a block, take somebody away, and that speed will take the quarterback straight down.
Love it. Good stuff, my friend. Hopefully we see you on Monday night here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Final thoughts here on the Sports Web.
I'm just... again, you and I have spent the last 3 years, we've been trying, or 2 years, but, before that, but the last 2 years solid in covering our being credentialed and covering the Bulls for Tampa Bay. And we've always said, just look, come out and have a great time. There's the student section. You got the Thundering Herd student marching band there in the north end zone. They serenade the band. They serenade the Bulls after a home victory. It's green. The lights go green. You've seen it red. You've seen them off. Wait till you've seen the green and gold when the lights are flashing on. But here's the thing. Don't be disappointed about this loss tonight. They went 2-1 against 3 ranked teams to start the season. And unlike the last 2 years where they were punching above their weight, and then we had injuries with Byrum Brown last year in week 5, this year we're healthy so far, and we're coming out of it with our heads held high. Kind of keep your heads held high, Bulls fans in Tampa Bay. We've got one hell of a college football team here in Tampa Bay.
Absolutely, and I believe they've somewhat turned the corner, and we'll see how the schedule plays out. But they got an opportunity. It's all in front of them. It's up to them. You play your schedule. You play your toughest part of your schedule. You're now 2-1. Let's see what they can do here the next 2 games versus South Carolina State and Charlotte. And we still may be talking about a team that's very special. And again, 2 straight seasons, and I misspoke. I thought this was Golish's 4th season. It's his 3rd season. 3rd season, 7-6, 7-6. You improve on that. That's called progression. And plus, you've got a new stadium coming in. You got Rob Higgins hired as the CEO. Everything on up and up when it comes to the USF Bulls.
And the stadium they broke ground, it's going to be done. So that's 2 years. And that's, again, I want to wrap it around my other narrative is that I see people, hey, you're going to go out. You're going to go again. You got the kids. Go see a high school football game, but take your kids to a Bulls game. It's a lot cheaper, and they can learn the game. But more importantly, you're supporting the program because when they move onto campus and they go to that, it's going to be a slightly soft, almost literally is half a stadium. Yeah. It's going to be electric. It's going to be the hottest ticket in town, other than the Rays that are be playing in Tampa by then. But they'll figure that out. But that's going to be a hot ticket. Enjoy them now while we've got the expansive room. Stretch out. And I have a feeling by the end of this year, if Tampa Bay tunes in, you play Rice. We've got Navy. We've got the AAC schedule, and that's the thing, Pete, is people are discovering the Bulls, the Big Threes over the top 10 teams. No, wait till you see this American Athletic Conference. We can talk about how the Bulls want to put the Big 12. They wish they were in the ACC or whatever. No, this is also a very hard division. You got Trent Dilfer still coaching in Alabama, Birmingham. Enjoy these games, guys.
I don't know how long that's going to happen, especially if they struggle.
Well, I had to do a little shout out for Trent Dilfer.
I know you did. I know you're always a Trent Dilfer fan, but he may be fired eventually with their struggles. We'll see. We'll definitely keep you up to date. And I think again for Rays fans, good times are coming with new ownership and a new stadium eventually, and money spent well by the owners to improve this team, improve this franchise, and we'll see. Right now, but it looks like the season's over, but we'll see about new ownership. But again, it's football season here. We got you covered, my friend. Anything else here on the Evolution?
You thought about it. I've thought about it. All of Tampa Bay's thought about it. All of Rays fans in the entire world thought about it. When did they announce it? Do they? I mean, it's got to be something that, Major League Baseball, it's not going to be like, it's P.T. Barnum, the next, the greatest show on earth. No, but is it the last week of the season? That's what I feel like the last week, like old regime come in and you say bye and then smooth transition, or do they wait until they get back to the Trop? And again, they got 5 sections up now, Pete. You got to come over. We have a burger. Look at the way they're putting these sections back on. They were up there in the wind today. It's fantastic. It is going to be short term, but it's going to be a chance for us to say bye to the old gray lady. But when did they announce the sale of this thing? Because let's be honest.
I think it's going to be next week. I hear it's next week, so I think it'll be next week. Once it comes next week, we got you covered here. Yes. All right.
All right, brother.
All right, my
I'll talk to
friend.
you later. I'll talk to you
Absolutely.
after, brother.
You killed it, man. As always, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. We'll give him the Ric Flair.
Woo!
Appreciate you as always, and we'll see you on Monday night, my friend. All right?
Remember, horns up.
There you go. Horns up. Love it right there. Yeah, let's do that. As we are winding this down, we'll read a couple more comments, and then we will get out for the night. If you're a boxing fan, Canelo versus Crawford starting here in just a little bit. So I'm going to get off just a little bit early so I can watch that. And we'll be back for your away watch party when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football with the Houston Texans. So it's getting busier and busier. Football season is here to stay. Jim Melvin, at the start of the season, as someone had offered 2-1 after first three games, we'd have jumped all over it. Still, there's no backing into the season. The Bulls will have to win almost every game from here on out to be relevant. Agree. I think that's fair. You got to take care of your business. The business is in front of you. For me, the first two games, or the next two games at home, very winnable. South Carolina State and Charlotte on my birthday. Think it's an omen. We'll be there on Friday night covering it. Where do you want to be on your birthday? We'll be at Raymond James Stadium covering your USF Bulls versus Charlotte there at Raymond James Stadium. And let's go out to SS Adams 210. Bro, USF had no chance. Stop with what they could have done. It wouldn't have made a difference. Well, they definitely had a chance in this game. That's why they played the games. They did have some momentum. But once again, going back to it, Miami was the better team today and tonight. So we'll give it to you. Good luck throughout the season. We'll see what you guys can do here in the next couple games. All right. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Thanks a lot to Tampa Joe's for having us out here. It's always a great experience. Remember, away watch parties for USF football games here. 93-16. Tampa. It's Tampa Joe's. You got to love it. And then, of course, we'll be back here on Monday night. Tampa Bay versus the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. Thanks to Harry the Greek for calling in. Travis Bailey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Of course, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves, Jason Powers, Kevin O'Donnell for showing up. And Bulls fans, there is a place to go when you want to watch an away football game. If the Bulls are on the road, it's Tampa Joe's. Once again, great food, great atmosphere, and, of course, home of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. And do three things. Bulls fall to the Miami Hurricanes 49-12. South Carolina State up next at Raymond James Stadium. We got you covered here. Three things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Maybe next time. We got you next time, as we always say on the show to end it off. Go Bulls. And we'll see you on Monday night as we get you ready for Bucks versus the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. Keep on tuning in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And have a good night.